It's good day to brew, baby. What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Millsy, back with Hometown Commander Rick for another episode of Millsy Brews, the show where I brew a version 1.0 deck list of the commander in front of us on my quest to brew the magic world. You know the motto, maybe it's ABB, always be brewing, and we're back again for another video today. The deck list is going to be down in the description, as it always is for you. As always, I'd really appreciate it if you get interact with the video, like, comment, subscribe, consider checking out the links in the description. The Discord's live. Mikey and I are in there chatting and hanging out. As well as I just released my first official Millsy Brews merch. I'd appreciate it if you could check it out. But today, we're taking a look at a combo deck, baby. I combo, you combo, he, she, we combo. And we're doing it with Ratadrabik of Urborg. A 4-mana zombie wizard with vigilance and ward 2. Gives all of the vigilance, or zombies you control vigilance. But the big ability is whenever another legendary creature we control dies, we create a token that's a copy of that creature. So if it's not legendary, it's a 2/2 zombie, and it shoots other colors and types. May seem like a long body of text, but what Ratadrabik going to try to do is take advantage of creatures that, when they die, are going to put a copy of themselves back on the battlefield with a way to find a way to make itself legendary so we could sacrifice it again, making this loop happening, and using our aristocrats payoffs to kind of turn this into a good chunk of life loss for our opponents. Step 1 of our plan is sack outlets. We need a way to sacrifice the creature so it can die, right? Rather than make the copy and the copy come back in. There's a lot of ways to do this. Things like Bartolome and Henny can do it completely for free to give themselves some sort of benefit. Warren Soul Trader can have us pay a life and sack a creature to get a treasure, so this way, generates some mana while doing it. You have things like Altar of Dimension, Ashnod's Altar, that could sack a creature to do some sort of effect. And then we have Blasting Station, which could tap to sacrifice a creature, deal 1 damage to a creature or player. And then whenever another creature comes into play, you untap Blasting Station. My 2 favorite ways to take advantage of this combo without an Aristocrats payoff are Blasting Station and Altar of Dimension. Blasting Station, right, will untap itself, so that'll do the combo. Altar of Dimension has the fun of being able to mill your opponents out. You sack the creature, mill that many cards off the top, and eventually you just mill all your opponents out, right, having them lose to decking out. So there are ways to do this without an Aristocrats outfit. It's just the Aristocrats payoffs help this go a lot quicker. But not just that, we can double our death triggers. What's really interesting is we have multiple cards that do this. I think the classic everybody thinks of is Taste of Karlov, right? If a creature dying causes triggered ability, goes off twice. They reprinted that ability on Drivnod from Phyrexian Obi-Wan. And then Gandalf says if a legendary permanent or artifact entering or leaving causes an ability to go off, it gives an additional time. Here's the really fun part about Ratadrabik's ability. Because all 3 of these are legendary, and if we had any way to double tokens, which we do play in the deck, we could technically get 2 of them, allowing us to get even more triggers right off of our death, meaning Ratadrabik could go off multiple times, getting multiple copies of the things that died, and you could start to see where you could start to build up, right, this stack of things. But I think more often than not, unless you find, Altar Dimension or Blasting Station, you're going to need an Aristocrats payoff to kind of get the game going forward. And by that I mean Blood Artist, Cruel Celebrant. Whenever another creature dies, Blood Artist, target opponent loses when we gain 1. Cruel Celebrant, everybody loses when we gain 1. Lost Core, whenever the other creature we control dies, everyone loses 1. Again, this is something you want to get to go off over and over and over again as we're doing our abilities. Cabal actually makes the damage happen when we make the token, not when it dies, but it's still very helpful, right, in that process. Sir Conrad, whenever that creature is dying, 1 damage each opponent. So Zilpor cut through that classic Aristocrats ability. Each opponent loses 1. We gain 1. Bast Remembrance, Funeral Room, same thing, lose 1, gain 1. And the Agent of the Throne actually steps it up and gives artifact and creatures the ability to have each opponent lose a life as long as Ratadrabik's out. So if you make a bunch of treasures with things like Warren Soul Trader, you could get extra life off of that. But I think the point is that these are the death triggers. So I think the question that you're probably asking yourself as the viewer is, okay, you've shown me sack outlets, you've shown me aristocrat outlets, but you tell me there are creatures that could get sacrificed and come back in and make themselves legendary. How many of those do you have? The answer is technically 12, but I'm going to show you 11 of them on screen. All 9 Nazgul in the deck are going to be able to combo in this way. It says whenever Nazgul enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. If you need reminded, that's a mechanic where you pick a creature to be a ring bearer. that creature becomes legendary. So all Nazguls, when they die, the copy will come in, Ring will tempt us, we'll pick the Nazgul, it'll become legendary. Bam. Now we have a legendary creature again. Both Samwise and Boromir do a very similar thing. Boromir has the ability to sacrifice itself to its own ability, kind of taking out the sack out engine part of it. It says that creatures we control gain indestructible time to turn them. The ring tempts us. Well, what happens is you put that ability on the stack, and then Ratadrabik makes the copy of Boromir. Boromir comes in as that token copy. The ring tempts us. We pick Boromir. Same thing with Samwise. When it enters the battlefield, you choose up to one target permanent in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn, return it to your hand, then the ring tempts you. Well, you could pick 0, the ring tempts you, making that copy of Samwise legendary, and now you're back to the way you started. So yes, this is a full-on combo deck. Find one of these, find one of the outlets, smash and win. It may not be fun to some people, but to other people, this is what they want to see out of a deck. And I want to make sure that we're covering all our bases here. Ratadrabik, to be 100% honest, has been a commander that I've always been fairly interested in. And I actually found a 12th creature in Gollum Patient Plotter. I didn't put it on the screen, but it is in the deck as another option for this. But I've said it before on the show, and I'll say it again. No deck's ever complete. This is my version 1.0 shot at Ratadrabik, even though we covered the deck a little bit ago. I wanted to come back and take a look at it because there's been some new cards released. But the truth is, what are we looking for in testing? Well, at the end of the day, any combo deck in testing is looking to get to their combo faster or make sure that their combo is more effective. So a lot of ways we can look at that. I think honestly, for me, probably the better way to expand Ratadrabik is to get more of the death triggers with something like Meat Hook Massacre that could basically just make sure you're getting more of those dies damage, outlet type things. You have things like Saw in Half, which can be interesting. I kind of like the idea of Saw in Half as a way to get multiple copies of a creature if you want it. Or we have a few non-legendary creatures in the deck, not very many. But you do that. You could also do this to that Nazgul to get an extra one or what have you if you wanted to. I don't mind Saw in Half. It's not my favorite in the deck, but I think it's an option. You also have the option of something like Yawgmoth as a sack outlet to start putting -1/-1s on a creature and draw. When you're sacrificing those creatures, can actually start minusing down our opponent's creatures. Again, I think I kind of would rather prefer us have sack outlets that don't cost us life to do, and or especially that, Altar of Dementia and Blasting Station, where they're kind of two things in one. But this is an option if you want that little bit of hurt towards your opponents as you do what you want to do. The explanation on this one is not as long as a lot of other decks, because truth of the matter, we're a combo deck and we're looking to do really one thing, and that's milled aristocrats with this game plan, and so that's what we're going to try to do. So we're in our first playtest here, keep it a 3-liner over the Soul Ring, Sir Conrad. So there's one of our aristocrats payoffs. Yahenni, there's a sack outlet. Frodo, Sauron's Banes, very interesting creature. For 2 mana and then 3 mana, it can become a creature that says whenever this player, with his creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game if the ring's tempted you 4 more times this game. Well, that is an option in case our other options, right, our other 13 creatures that care about, right, our other 11 creatures that care about the ring tempting us. It's an option. I think Frodo a lot of times might not get used for that, but it's an option. Well, there we go, right, turn 1 we drew Nazgul. So now we have all of our pieces. We just have to get them down, right, and we have to get them down safe. So I think we do Soul Ring turn 1. Turn 2. I'm trying to think what's the safest way to get both of these down. I think I need to do what? Ratadrabik, right? Turn 3. We don't have double black, but I can sack a creature from Lazatep Quarry to get a black. Maybe Yahenni Frodo this turn. And then this turn, there's the double black. I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So I can't Nazgul and Sir Conrad. So I guess I just Conrad, right? And then here on turn 5, now we draw Boromir, which is just as perfect as the Nazgul. In fact, it may even be better than Nazgul. It could sacrifice it. I think either way, right? We just play them, sack it to Yahenni, Conrad's going to see it, and now the loop started. Again, now it's just whether our opponent can stop it. They could take out Ratadrabik to stop it. They could take out the Yeheni to stop it. Remember, they have to exile Yeheni, though, because you could sack another creature to give it indestructible, right? Let's say there's the world where I start this combo, and people say, oh, Yeheni's the problem. It's the sack outlet. Well, I just sack another creature to Yeheni in response to their removal spell. If it's a destroy removal, give it indestructible, and now our combo's still safe. In fact, we could even, and if they even, right, and here's the interesting thing, if they try to take out Sir Conrad, we sack it to Yeheni to make a copy of it. If they try to take out Boromir, we sacrifice it to itself, right, if we haven't already activated Yeheni. My point is that this is defendable against destroy removal on its own ability. This is defendable by just sacrificing it to Yeheni and getting a copy of it, and then their thing fizzles, right? So this just goes to show you that I have a way to protect this, hopefully. I have a way to protect this, hopefully. But again, let's say that's exile removal on Yeheni. Okay, that kind of stinks, but the truth is I don't need Yeheni because I have Boromir to sacrifice itself. So the truth is, Conrad and Ratadrabik are the problem, and Ratadrabik I can recast as long, now that I already have Boromir down. It's just Sir Conrad that's kind of that focal point. Because look, if I play Nazgul, right, Nazgul I have to sacrifice to Yeheni. Right, if I play Boromir, I just sacrifice it to itself. So you got to see kind of that protection, right? And Boromir's already sacrificed itself with its ability on the stack. So they have to kind of get rid of Ratadrabik, right? And then Ratadrabik we can just, get back the next turn for 6 mana and start the process over again. I know it's kind of magical Christmas landy slightly for the combo, but it just goes to show you that, like, once it's done and once you have that started on the stack, they have to get rid of the right thing, and not all your opponents are going to functionally understand, what's the right thing. Here we've got a big, a big lander with just a couple mana dorks. So now we need to hit into everything. We have the Nazgul, right? So we just need the sack outlet and the sack outlet and the aristocrats piece, right? There we'll get the arcane seed down again. We got to get Ratadrabik down, right? That's the whole point. Kind of like the idea of just getting the talisman and then the Nazgul down. Or we have 9 Nazguls, so we don't have to be as afraid to use one. Okay, well, we're shaping up to one here. I don't think we can do it this turn, though, because that's 4, 5, 6, right? Ratadrabik's 4. Nasty End will get me another Nazgul, but there's no way to get the process to keep going. But I think it's still worth doing, right? You sack the Nazgul, which I get a copy of because of Ratadrabik, and then I get to draw 3 because it was legendary. So this just digs further. We already have our aristocrat out right here, so now we just need the sack outlet, right? That's the only thing we're missing now. That's what we're trying to, right, dig deeper and deeper for. We'll go to the next turn. So now Nazgul's still legendary. I guess there's Lasatep Quarry, right, that we could have done this turn to sack it, but the truth is we're just missing that, right? So I guess I'll just put Nazgul in. Sorry, this Nazgul should have a counter on it because it came in last turn. Here, keep this as our ring bearer. Counter on 2 counters on both Nazgul because the ring tempt us. Now, this is the kind of other nice part is you could start building the threats, right, with your Nazgul, but I think we would just put the funeral room down here. Set another piece up, right? Another one of our aristocrats pieces. And there we go. We topped the altar of Dementia. So there you go. The nice part about this combo here is I can do this entire combo at instant speed, but you sack the Nazgul here, make the copy. Again, the point is the only thing we're now worried about, right, is now Ratadrabik. Ratadrabik is the key here, and I can't protect it, but I can always recast it. And the nice part is I've only spent 2 mana this turn, so if somebody does remove Ratadrabik, I just recast it immediately and do this again, right? This turn I have that protection of having the mana for it, and now my opponents have to deal with Ratadrabik twice this turn, otherwise the game's over, right? Ratadrabik just nukes out our opponents, and I gain the life. Again, I'm sure there's going to be watchers who don't love this style of deck, but I want to show you guys that, these options exist. There are options for aristocrats. It's not just build out massive boards. There are commanders that can do aristocrats and a cheap way to do it. Here on Playtest 3, we're keeping a 3-lander with Boromir, Swords of Plowshares, Mondrak, and Nasty End. So Mondrak is a way to double up tokens, right? So it kind of works well with what Ratadrabik's trying to do. Nothing turn 1, nothing turn 2. I think we're just kind of right. We're working our way up here. Turn 3, I guess if somebody has something pesky, we could lure in, right? Just to get rid of something. Again, remember that we can sacrifice it, and Ratadrabik can keep making more lure-ins, right, to remove things. Turn 4, I think we just Ratadrabik. I guess we could draw with lure-in, but I don't really want to unless I have to. It stinks to be basically just giving people value, right, for the things that we don't want to get rid of. Here, okay, well, here we have Elenda. Elenda's interesting. Elenda's a creature that, as creatures die, it grows, and then whenever it dies, you get a bunch of tokens. So my thought here was just Mondrak. Again, scary to just run the Mondrak out with no protection for it. I guess we could sacrifice them to make it destructible, but my thought here is we're still missing the aristocrat outlets, but technically we could make an infinite number of Boromirs. Because here's my thought. On our next turn, if we don't see an aristocrat payoff, we just get Boromir down. I guess we could dig for it with the nasty end, right? Sacrificing it to nasty end, drawing 3. We get the copy of Boromir, which makes it self. But here's my thought, right? Every time we sacrifice a Boromir, we're actually getting 2 of them because of Mondrak. We make the one we want into the legendary one, sack it to its own ability, make 2 more. So technically, we could do this at instant speed before our turn and make an infinite number of Boromirs and win the game that way, as long as no one removes Mondrak, right? Mondrak's the key thing here that would keep this combo alive. And the truth is, I can only make 1 more of it, right? Like if somebody tries to spot remove it, at the moment I can't protect it from exile. I can protect it from indestructible by just getting rid of another creature, right? But the truth is, somebody tries to exile it, I lose my doubling game, but now all I need to do is find another outlet, that damaging outlet. We do have a kind of fun option in Elenda here, where Elenda, every time that Boromir dies, will keep putting counters on itself, and then if we could find a way to sacrifice it, like with Warren Soul Trader, we can make a ton of 1/1 vampires, right? So that's my kind of backup option here. Again, the truth is, I just need to find a way to damage my opponent when something dies. So we nasty ended there to draw, because I wanted to try to see if we could get into more, right, more things. So here, coming into the next turn, again, I have the infinite Boromir plans, but if somebody blows up Mondrak, then I think I'm just going Warren Soul Trader plus Elenda. Pay a little bit of life into sacrificing a few Boromirs just to grow Elenda, and then sacrifice Elenda to Warren Trader to make the bunch of 1/1s, because they're going to get double with Mondrak. And I think we can still find a way to win this game out here. Again, we have a little bit of removal, but the truth is, you know, we're worried on board, right? Mondrak can protect itself from destruction removal, but in the day, we still have the problem of Ratadrabik being the key, right, to profit any of these sacrifices. So at the end of the day, your goal is to protect Ratadrabik, which we do play ways in the deck. The nice part is Ratadrabik's only 4. If he goes back at 6, we have plenty of mana to do that. And none of these combos that we've talked about require mana to do. So if Mondrak gets removed, hopefully we have the mana to put Mondrak back down. I know that these are kind of fly by the night, 60,000 feet playtests, but the truth is you're looking for the combo and you're looking for Ratadrabik. So Ratadrabik, then get the combo in and get it going and protect the combo. And there's going to be people who don't like that. There's going to be people that like the robust combos. I'm just trying to show you something like this so you understand. I find it interesting. I've been wanting to make an aristocrats deck for a long time, and I like the idea of this combo. The only thing I find myself coming back and forth on is the fact that you have 11 creatures in the deck that can do it, and I'm sure some people are going to love that and some people are going to hate that. But let me know, what do you think of Ratadrabik down in the comment section below? Do you hate decks like this? Do you like decks like this? If you play Ratadrabik, let me know what I missed. I'd love to know, and I will catch you guys in the next